Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well today. Today I want to talk to you about Robosen. And I've never, ever made a dedicated video about Robosen before. But I've got a lot of thoughts and concerns about collecting it. Not concerns about the product, because it is absolutely amazing. It is beyond fascinating that they were able to pull this off. And what they've done with this line is mind-blowing. But there are serious problems, hurdles to overcome if you want to collect these. That's what this video is about. This is not going to be a Robosen bashing video. It's just going to be from the collecting aspect and being a realist, but coming from somebody who is highly impressed with this. And there is something very specific I want. Even if it's too expensive, I would probably still buy it, because I probably can't not buy it. But we'll get into all of this. Hope you're having a great Friday, going into a wonderful weekend. Christmas is coming up in a few weeks, and we're going to have some fun coming up. The first issue with collecting these is that you're going to want a cohesive line of figures, and for the price you're paying, that you'd want them to scale well together. And one of the problems is that this line does not scale properly. Now, there are actually two sizes and scales to it, and I'm not going to go so deep into that, but I'm saying if you want them to scale well together, you can pick and choose to sort of get it close, but it's not going to scale together like a Masterpiece line. Now, I got to tell you, it's Friday, and Friday we talk about Masterpiece line. This is a screenshot from Cass Perks. And somehow he's got his hands on this. I don't know if Robosen sent him out an early one or what. But as you can see, it's considered flagship price, not the smaller version price. But yet it is way smaller. Now, you can get the cheaper ones that they've made smaller down the road, and this will scale better with that. But still, even the Bumblebee's out of scale. A lot of stuff doesn't scale. And if we look at this next picture, Grimlock is too small. I mean, maybe there's ways to tweak it and fake it, but really it does feel like all these other characters, all these other figures tower over some of them. And then Bumblebee's too big. I mean, so there's so many issues here when it comes to scale. And I think the whole point of this was the same point as Masterpiece. You think about Masterpiece did not start as a cohesive scale line. It started as one-off pieces that were the greatest ever made and perfection, and should have been a one-and-done defining piece so you never have to buy that character again. And then we kind of get into what Robosen's doing here, and they don't scale. It mirrors Masterpiece in a lot of ways. I got this picture more for the stands because we're going to be talking about that here in a bit. But as you can see, scale's not quite there. Maybe I'm not quite keeping up with buy a more expensive version of Soundwave and the cheaper versions of the other ones, which oddly enough, they started out at 700 and then shrunk them down. The smaller ones are 700, but we haven't gotten into price just yet. But yeah, scale is still an issue. So we'll get into these stands, which it's a nice transition. Same picture, it's not a transition. The thing about the stand is that when these don't have power, they don't hold their form. They don't stand up on their own. Part of the process is that the servos and all that are continually working, and that's how it maintains its pose, but also how it has its movement, posability, and auto-transforming function. Auto-converting function. And with that, you've got to have a stand when it's not in use. So when the Gimmick's not in use, we'll be talking about the Gimmick here in a little bit. This is someone who makes his own stand on either Etsy or eBay. And so you can just buy their stand for $44. Or you can buy the stands that I was just showing, and it keeps it powered on. Now, if it's powered on continually, I don't even know if this is official. This is another Etsy. Like, when you start looking at this stuff, I really don't know. Is this official? Is this an Etsy kind of thing? Is this someone homemade? But it looks awesome though. That stand looks awesome. But there are stands that give it continual power, and you can have it continually moving and doing what it needs to do, and it can hold its form. But then I think that will lower the life, but we'll get into that here in a little bit. Next is the auto transforming function is a gimmick, which is an awesome, it's mind-blowing gimmick. But from every single person that I've heard talk about this that owns it, says that it was really fun for about 30 minutes, maybe even for an hour, and then they put it away and they really don't do much with it unless somebody comes over, they show it off for 5 minutes, and then it goes back to collecting dust. And that's kind of a problem. If you're buying this and you're spending $1,000 on it, which we'll get into that, it's coming up, $1,000 on something, then you really want to get your money's worth out of it. But if it's not something, the gimmick is not going to be used once a week or, maybe 6 times tops or something, then it's really not worth it. Now, some people probably will. Some people will probably, with their kids, and like they'll be talking to it and make it do things. But the gimmick itself gets old, and is it really worth this much money in technology? That's a problem collecting it, especially if you're buying like 6 of them. And the next thing we don't really know is longevity of these. They've been around for a few years, but is it going to hold up for 20 years? What's one of these things going to be like 20 years from now? Or is this not a concern? Well, it should be. Like, we're spending that money on it that we're about to talk about. With 84 microchips, 28 servo motors, and 6-axis IMU. That's interesting. This could possibly have a point, or 84 points, or 130 points of failure down the road. And all of these concerns I had when I saw it, and I actually did consider picking one up. And here's the reason I make it, because I will pick one up if they make exactly what I want them to make, and I'll get to that here in a bit, because we're not there yet. But yeah, it is very impressive. I would say highly impressive, the technology. But how long will it hold up for? How many years will it hold up for? We don't know yet, because it has only been out for a few years. Next is the looks. And I gotta tell you, looks matter. I want to say this, and I'm going to be very honest. The newest one they're making is Soundwave. And I do feel Soundwave looks better than any of them, except I think Grimlock might be a little... Grimlock superior, Soundwave almost inferior. But really, Soundwave lends itself to be the best for this. This really should have been the first one they did, because it looks fantastic. Grimlock is close. It might be a little better, but with all that, still looks-wise, it doesn't match Masterpiece. And as expensive as Masterpiece is, it's only a quarter of the price, or a fifth of the price, fifth of the price for looking way better, in my opinion, what I want on my shelf. And at the end of the day, after you're 30 minutes playing with the thing, and then you just don't touch it anymore, then, which one looks better on a shelf? You tell me. But I love the way the Soundwave looks. And Robosen, if you sent me a free one, I would sing it praises, but I'd still have to be honest about all of my hangups for this line until the one thing I want comes along. And I thought about doing side-by-sides for every single one. We don't need to. You can look at this. You know that the Magic Square Optimus Prime blows this away. MP44 blows this away for a much lower price point. The Bumblebee looks pretty good. And the Megatron, I understand where they're going with it. I'm just going to leave it alone. But I will literally say Grimlock is pretty much 1-to-1 to the Masterpiece. How long will it take to complete a full team of these? If that's even what you want it for, I don't really know if that's what people want this for. But if you're saying, you know what, I've decided I'm just going full-on Robosen, how long will it take for you to get your ARC crew, your Season 1, your Season 2, and all of that? And that's a long wait. Maybe that's a blessing in disguise to have to wait forever. Maybe, what are they doing? 1 a year now or something along those lines, or maybe 2 a year. I haven't really kept up with all that. But if you're wanting a cohesive full collection, this is probably not it. Masterpiece is still better. I would say if you want a full cohesive collection for the best price, Hasbro is still the best option. But if you want the most defining pieces in your collection, I mean, this is amazing, and it may take a long time to get all those characters that you truly want. Will you ever get a Trax? Probably not. Lastly is the price. I was looking up prices for Black Friday sales, and I remember the first Optimus Prime came out, the flagship Prime, $700. I was like, that's insane. And now, you know, you're looking at $700 in the rear view mirror, and I still think 700 was insane. Price is, it just doesn't make sense, but it sure does make dollars. And for me, I've never bought any of these, and I've kind of seen the prices, and they fluctuate up and down, and I know there's a price game that they play to overprice it, then put it on a sale to get it down to the correct price, and all of that. When they initially came out with it for 700, I think people said they picked one up for 500 or something. I can't validate that, but nowadays, I mean, the Black Friday sales are 1200, 1600, 1200. I mean, it's kind of crazy priced. And then we kind of get into, well, what's BBTS charging for this new flagship Soundwave 1000? And the reason I'm going to BBTS with this is because everybody likes to point out when I talk about, you know, price, and I go to TF Source and I go to other places, and they say, well, it's cheaper on BBTS. And a lot of times it is, sometimes it's not, but pretty much across the board, everywhere, Entertainment Earth, other places, TF Source, I believe, is 1000. And that's on sale. That's getting like an early pre-order sale that will go away soon. If you don't buy it for 1000, it'll be 1400, which this used to be a bigger one for 700. It's expensive. Now, there's a lot of other factors that go into it that I'm not going to go into in this video because I'll lose 200 subscribers, so I won't go into that. But the reality is what the reality is. There's other factors too, but it seems quite excessive. But it is impressive. Now, for some pictures of the Soundwave, who is looking pretty good, which, okay, Grimlock still looks better, but he looks really good. We're going to straight on. We've kind of already seen this picture, but I think they've done a fantastic job with him. So, I mean, for what he has to accomplish, and one of the things when I watched it, I'm not going to show the actual footage because this video is already going to be questionable whether or not they go after me for pointing all this out. I don't know, but if I had their footage, they would definitely do it. So, not using their footage. But I will say this: the toes snap into place. They clip. They pop out with a spring-loaded pop out, and then they clip back into place for the transformation, which I think is just ingenious. Ingenious on how they accomplish that. And I am fascinated by the technology here, and I think we all are. I mean, really. Even if you don't buy these, even if you're disgusted with the price or baffled or confused, or if you're ponying up the money because it is that amazing. Because it really is amazing. This is a feat of engineering that I've been wanting since I was 6 years old or 8 years old, whatever, back in the day. Pretty awesome stuff. Opening door here, the opening cassette door says that there will be cassettes, and I've got a picture coming, so we will be talking about that. This is what is included in this for $1,000, but if you wait, it's got to be 1,400, so don't wait. If you really want this, get it and treat yourself. Have a very Merry Christmas. I don't think it'll be in by Christmas though. And then there's the back, which is pretty clean in the back. The alt mode probably won't be as clean in the back, but it'll be about as clean as Masterpiece, so, I mean, not a big deal. And then, one of the weird things about this, I watched the video, and they said, look how it walks. This one out of all of them walked the strangest. It's like he walks like he's gotta go to the bathroom. So, maybe there's other types of walks that he can accomplish than the one that I saw in the video, but still think it's amazing. You do get actual Bluetooth speaker mode and cassette player mode. It actually plays music and does things with that, like MP3 player, and records and does other stuff. So it's got that feature, which is awesome. Do you want to waste your battery playing music, or do you want it doing stuff? It's up to you, but love this picture here because it kind of shows the tech in a way, but also shows the 84 microchips, the 28 servo motors, and the 6-axis IMU. And then this picture here just looks amazing. Now, I will point this out. It is dark blue, not light blue. So don't be mistaken. They probably will come out with a lighter blue one down the road, maybe. Well, probably, maybe, sort of. I don't really know. I haven't followed that trend so much. Now, for what I want to see from them are the cassettes. And I'm just, oh man, I don't want to spend the money on it. But they get a Ravage. I don't know if they'll do them separately, do them as a bundle pack. For $1,000, you get 5 cassettes. I mean, that would suck. Would they auto convert? I'm curious. I'm just curious what's coming with that. And I'm seriously, I'm highly interested. A Ravage for under 100, I might be interested in. A whole set of like 4 for 100, I'd be way stoked, but that's not what this company does at all. So the future is bright and interesting with this, and I might get them just for the cassettes, and they won't be the same size. They could actually, based on the shape of it, be sideways in there, be the same size as vintage. But anyway, pretty exciting stuff. Hope they do it. But I'm curious what your thoughts are, because I mean the comments are really where I learn a lot. This is a department I still probably definitely have a lot more to learn, because I've never seen one in person, never touched one, handle it, or done any with that stuff with it. It's nowhere near this bright blue. But what do you guys think about this? Man, last night I was going down a rabbit hole of pulling all my cassettes out and looking at them just randomly, and then the video showed they're going to possibly make cassettes today, which is crazy. But anyway, like, subscribe, comment below, let me know what you think. Tadarium Hanger out.